ladies, I have to tell you, are so fantastic in this movie. Now, I'm not a scary movie kind of person, so I was a little hesitant, but boy, did I ever get sucked in. So Isabelle, let's start with you, because I think what scared me most about this movie was how these girls were treated, if anything. Tell me about your reaction to the script initially.
I remember reading the script, and the first thing I asked Eduardo when I met with him is I was like, how did you come up with kneeling on grains of rice? And he said that was, I don't know if he said it was I don't know if this, I don't want to be quoted wrong, but I don't know if he said it was like a punishment that he read about, or if it was something that like someone maybe like did him as a child. I don't know. I don't think it was that, but I think he like read about it or something and was like, he said he tried it.
Who've done that. Yeah. I mean, not anytime recently, but like, grandparents and stuff like that, stuff like that.
But I remember that really like jarred me in such a way, because it's such a, I mean, it's like on one hand you think about it and it's like, okay, what is that even like? And then at the same time, you're like, that must be incredibly painful. And so, I really was fascinated by their story, their love story, and also at the same time, kind of the pressure that they're under in this house, almost like this like contained petri dish that's like about to explode. And so I really loved Eduardo's vision as well for the movie. I mean, he had such a specific goal for the film and style that he wanted to film it in. And it was, after speaking with him, it was like, I knew that I wanted to do it. I mean, I kind of knew before because I wanted to work with Stefanie, honestly. But once I spoke with Eduardo, I think I was like, okay, this is going to be a really cool shoot and movie to be a part of. And it really, really was. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. And Stefanie, for you, look, it's set in the 1800s. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, did you guys do any kind of reading or prep to even find out what, because this is like also like a religious kind of horror, right? And what these people believed and how they treat these women, and never mind wanting two women to be together, but it's just all the religious aspect of it. Did you do any kind of research, or did you just dive in?
Yeah, actually, Eduardo sent us a lot of books that he found in this library, like books from, I don't know, the late 1700s, religious texts and stuff. And just speaking about what people's daily lives were like there, like with you, baking bread, like something all day, like all of the housework that they had to do. And I mean, how serious the silence was and prayer was, and how like frigid the environment is and it feels. So he sent us a lot of books and text on that, and we definitely read that, and I think that was probably the biggest part of it. But a lot of it really happened when we were on the set, because we filmed in this very old house in Long Island. It was like falling apart, and with every, as you were saying earlier, with every step, the whole house creaks and moves, and the movie's very quiet because we're not allowed to speak much in it, as silence is supposed to be kind of, kind of, I guess, the main point.
These people are silenced. They're silenced through what they choose to be silenced. Eleanor's like forcibly silenced. These girls are, have to be silent about what's going on with them. Yeah, silence was like a really big theme in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
The family as well.
How it tears you apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it for me, it was more of a psychological thing, like just seeing how this family and how the family turned against them. And honestly, it was like I said, you guys handled it so well. Isabelle, did you guys hit it off immediately? You had good chemistry, the two of you, in this film, as much as you were allowed to be together.
We've known each other for a long time, a really long time. It was just very different. It was just so different. And I got an email, with the offer with the script, and I saw Stefanie's name attached to it. I was like, I would really love to work with Stefanie on something. Like, we had such a good time working on Good Girls Get High. And then it was really like, we lived together while we filmed the movie, which is
so funny, and never done that ever working on a movie. And I was like, we both were like,
Shared a car and a house.
shared a car and a house. We both were like, this is, I think privately we both were like, how is this gonna go? But we had the best time,
Yeah.
and we really bonded and clicked, and like it was really nice to, you know, working on a set where it's like we're all in these like old-fashioned clothes, and like it was cold and it was Long Island, and it was like, it was nice to go home with Stephanie and just like laugh about the day and like have a light, you know, evening while we were like roasting vegetables at like 2 a.m. You know,
Yeah. Well,
long showers after the cold. Yeah.
I'm sure. Now, Stephanie, I hope you didn't, you know, when you guys went back after shooting, that you didn't make tea for Isabelle.
Oh my God. Did I? I don't know.
I would never trust you.
We do drink a lot of tea.
I would never trust you to make me a cup of tea, dear. If we ever meet, no. I'm going to make my own.
You're the one who was.
I mean, I chop off Rory Culkin's finger. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't trust me in the kitchen. I mean,
Don't mess with us.
No, well, and speaking of Rory Culkin, I mean, you know, he's got this small but very important role in this film. Well, you know, Isabelle, like, wow, that scene in the kitchen with him, like, my heart was thumping because I kind of knew where it was going to go, but then you weren't sure. What was it like to work with him? I mean, he's fantastic.
he's great. I mean, it was so cool to work with him. He's such a great guy and such a great actor, and like, you know, he came on set and had, you know, such great ideas for that scene, and we just kind of talked it through, and it was so easy to film that scene. I mean, we did it in basically a day. I mean, it was he only worked for one day.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, it's very difficult. I feel like sometimes as an actor to come into a film that's like working, like in the process of being made for like a day, and step out and like, you know, really kind of fit in. But he really like, I mean, he has such a great energy to him too. So we had a really great time actually filming that scene, because it felt like we had this really good kind of tennis match back and forth while we were playing through it. And also, you know, it is such an important like beat in the story. And I really loved like what he brought to the set, because it was like, he really like showed up, came to play. Like it was really fun.
He was awesome.
It was really awesome.
Yeah. Now that you girls are, you know, you're got some horror behind you. There's no question about it. You guys are, you know, turning into scream queens, I think. But Stephanie, I'll ask you first, what do you think is the best element that's needed to make a good horror film or scary film?
I mean, it's the story. It has to be grounded, and it has to be. I think the best horror films are the ones that are just real movies, and they have real stories and real relationships, and it's otherwise, if it's not grounded, everybody kind of laughs, you know. It doesn't really have the chilling element if you don't connect with the characters or connect with, like, you know, Eleanor and Mary, like, you know, like if there's something else going on. I think that's like such a big component whenever I see horror films.
I love horror films where, you know, where you can really see the characters, because I think what's most horrific about certain aspects of like human psyche, right, is when people believe that what they're doing comes from a place of good. And so in this family specifically, right, they believe that what they're doing is an act of God. And they believe it so powerfully that this is their way of, you know, really paying worship to God. And how they're unable to see, you know, the real things going around them that, you know, really are like, you know, what their word I said, like God to him, what he defines God as is love. So their love is like an act of God. But at the same time, like what they're doing, they believe is an act of God, but really, you know, maybe it is some other sort of entity that we don't know. So I really love that this particular movie was so grounded in reality, was a period piece, but also you really got to kind of like dive into these people's home and like see this family dynamic and really like sit with it. And family dynamics are fascinating in and of itself, but
100%.
What's horrific about it is the way that they interact with each other, is the way that this like silence creeps in everywhere, and how it like envelops every relationship, and really how, you know, because of that, everything kind of goes downhill. And, you know, what is not said is way more important than what is in this film.
That is for sure. Well, you girls did such a good job in it. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed it, and it made me think a lot. And I'm gonna watch people's fingers. I'm gonna
Oh my
watch
God.
tea. There's a lot going on psychologically in this film. But congratulations to both of you. Best of luck with everything, and thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care. Nice to see you. Bye bye.